This hurts
Right?
so bad. It hurts so bad, bro. I can't go through a video like this.
Obviously not.
Ooh.
Let's dive into the video.
So what was our split before this new split?
We were doing a chest and tricep, back and biceps, legs, and shoulders with some supplementary arm work. We were hitting.
Oh, sit back.
My head will look small.
No, you're in the mic, dude.
We hit each compound movement about once a week, and we were hitting each muscle group about once a week. We only did this for like 2 weeks or so. It wasn't really a split. It was more of something we just threw together after we got done with our other mesocycle. But now we're getting right back onto an actually structured routine.
So why did we change it?
Simply because it wasn't really structured. It was a placeholder routine. We were only hitting muscle groups once a week when the recommended frequency is more towards 2 times a week. And I also just didn't enjoy it as much as the one that I just designed. Hello?
What is our new split overview?
So we have chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs, and upper day.
You got the tricep day in there?
Jake likes to do triceps every freaking day because he's stupid.
I like to do tricep.
Each muscle group is getting hit twice a week. And well, at least twice a week. We got all of our compounds as the main focus. Our volume is actually in the right ranges that it should be,
which is something that I wanted to really get on because I wanted to basically maximize my training as much as possible. As far as rep ranges, rep totals, all that type of stuff, I really wanted to get it down to the mathematical.
I like it down to the mathematical.
I wanted to get it down to
let's get
literally
social.
Science.
Let's get social. I said, let's get social.
What does it mean?
It's a freaking Acer meme.
So what's the first thing to consider when you make a split?
The first thing to consider is adherence. How many days a week can you personally work out? All right. If you can only work out for 3 days a week, that's okay. And if you can work out for 5 days a week, that's okay also. I wouldn't recommend working out more than 5 days a week. And I also wouldn't recommend working out less than 3 days a week.
But what if I want to train 7 days a week just to get bigger? You work harder, you work smarter, you get bigger.
It doesn't work like that, but the more days you have, the easier it is to split the volume up and the frequency. So, I mean, theoretically, it could be beneficial.
Yeah, let's start doing 7 days a week. Let's bump it up to 8. Let's do 8 days. So Garrett, tell them what is the second thing to consider.
The second thing to consider is what is your actual goals? Are your goals strength-oriented, hypertrophy-oriented, or a mix between the two? Me personally, I don't recommend trying to do 2 things at once because then you don't do either very well. I personally have parts of my training that specialize in strength, and then I have other parts of my training. So like after 3 months of strength training, I'll move on to something like some dedicated hypertrophy training to take advantage of the actual strength. And right now, like, I don't know about Jake personally, but I'm not really a strength athlete. I really just care about the physique. So that's why I train for hypertrophy.
I don't care about how I look. I just want to be as strong as possible. And I want to eat as much as possible. Can we get to that part yet? Can I eat a lot of food, please? Without getting fat? It's just a simple question. So Garrett, what do you recommend when...
That's awesome. What are your volume, intensity, frequency recommendations? All right, well, Jake, that's a great question.
Thank you. I made it up myself.
So my recommendations for volume, intensity, frequency depend on what your goals are. So for volume, I recommend between 40 and 70 muscle group.
40 to 70. Y'all hear that? 40 to 70 muscle groups. So you got your bicep, you got your tricep, you got your femur bone.
Is my Lord and my Savior, and I love him.
You got your wrist bones.
Right. My volume recommendations are 40 to 70 repetitions per muscle group per session. Okay, frequency 2 to 3 times per muscle group per week. So each muscle should be worked 2 to 3 times per week. All right, intensity. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting, right? Depending on your goal, whether it be strength or hypertrophy, intensity and what intensity you should be training at changes. If you're training for hypertrophy, you should focus on a little bit more in the moderate rep ranges and the moderate loads. So you shouldn't be going above 80% of your 1 rep max very often.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
So my volume recommendations are 40 to 70 reps per muscle group per session, which equates to 80 to 210 reps per muscle group per week. The intensity between 1 and 15 rep maximums, okay? So for strength, 3/4 of your total volume should be in the 1 to 6 rep range. For hypertrophy, 3/4 of total volume in the 6 to 12 rep max range. Now frequency is 2 to 3 times per week per muscle group, and be careful of overlap. For example, when you're bench pressing, it's not just using your pecs, you're also using your triceps and your anterior delts, so you have to take that into consideration.
Progression.
There is a lot of different ways that you can arrange your progression, right? There's linear, conjugate, all that other stuff. With this split that we're doing right now, we're just going with linear progression because as of right now, me and Jake can still do really well on linear progression. We can usually increase either weight or reps every week, which is really, really good. So right now, there's no need to do something more advanced. Here's the big thing with progression. Progress based on how good you are at progressing, right? Which is...
So you're saying progress however you're going to progress?
And
you heard it here, guys.
And it sounds a little crazy, but if you can still manage to progress with linear periodization every week, put on weight and reps, keep doing that.
Yeah.
Keep doing that because don't slow down. Like if you're like, oh, well, this is an intermediate split and it has me upping the weight like every month and stuff. The problem with that is you're leaving gains on the table. You want to get as much.
You want to eat as much of those gains. It's Thanksgiving, guys. It's gains Thanksgiving. You gotta eat as much of those gains as possible. Let me tell you.
You want to really max out your progression as much as you can, and then once that stops working, that's when you go to more advanced methods.
All right. Next up, we got exercise selection, y'all.
Well, with exercise selection, again, it depends on your goals. So, our goals are hypertrophy. Therefore, per body part or main body part, we go for one compound movement, at least one compound movement. So for chest, that would be bench press. For back and glutes and posterior chain, that would be deadlifts. For legs, that'd be squats. You get the idea. Everything else, the thing with exercise selection is there's so much into it, but it's not really that important as long as you're hitting your volume, intensity, and frequency and progressing right. Pick the movements that you feel work the muscle best and that you enjoy doing. And I usually do 3 to 4 assistance exercises.
So what do you track with? An app, a spreadsheet, a piece of paper? What do you do?
That's personal preference, bud. Me personally, I use an app for my phone. It's called FitNotes. It's free. It's on Android. It works really well.
Nobody's got an Android.
Shut up. Android's clearly superior.
Nobody has an Android.
That's really
good.
good.
I mean, it is personal preference. I typically take like a rock sheet. I bring it in. I carve. That's probably why people get it so upset at me. I leave a bunch of rock dust because I just edge in. All right, how many reps, and then I just.
A stone tablet.
It's really heavy.
I prefer the app. Another awesome another awesome option is just using a spreadsheet. And in fact, I'll put in a picture of what a spreadsheet looks like of the split that I'm currently doing, and I'll also leave that down in the description so you can download it and enjoy it and use it and love it forever and use it for your own templates.
Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something today. All I got to say is just keep swimming, keep progressing, and keep working out, guys. That's all you gotta do.
I'm really glad we got to dive in this topic together, guys.
Next
time you want to see old Mr. Garrett, you can just jump on my magic school bus and I'll take you along.
Freaking God, my head hurts. Oh God, whose are these? Whose are these? Why were they in my car? They must have been yours.
They fit me perfectly.
They must have been yours, obviously.